I've been trying my best not to think about you, but you're stuck in my mind. I've been hypnotized by you. Hey, all the suffering and pain got me feeling so blue. Cause when it was us, I was never enough. Girl, you got me thinking I was messed up, pushing me down instead of pulling me up. So tell me what I'm supposed to do just to be alright. Girl, you got me thinking I was messed up, yeah. I've been worrying about my mental health. Cause when I'm alone, I keep checking my phone. Yeah. Seeing all these people, having someone to lean on while I don't. Girl, you got me thinking I was messed up, pushing me down instead of pulling me up. So tell me what I'm supposed to do just to be alright. Girl, you got me thinking I was messed up, messed up.
Ladies and gentlemen, unscripted in the building. Last day of July. E. What's happening, brother? You all right?
Yeah. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm all right. Was able to hit the gym.
Yeah.
Feeling good. We're about to talk about my favorite topic. How are you doing?
I'm just going to sit back, you know what, and push all the buttons behind the scene because you've already assembled, I'm going to call them the Avengers, I think, of digital currency conversation 101, 201 level. So I'm going to sit back and learn from this conversation. I hope the audience that's going to be watching and listening engages, and hopefully they ask questions as well, because, again, just hearing you guys talk about technologies, talk about components already in the past 15 minutes that we were behind the scene here. I think this is going to be an awesome treat. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being an active participant in this conversation as well.
Yeah, this is again a great topic of mine, but I do want to put a disclaimer out there and let everyone know that this is not financial advice. As you've heard on I don't know if anybody talks about cryptocurrency, but this is not financial advice. We are here merely to entertain. We are merely here to kind of educate and introduce what it seems like the world is going to be heading towards, right? Digital currency. So without further ado, let's bring on our panel
Our
here.
esteemed panel.
Our esteemed panel, that's right. Yeah, and again, we have James Almo. We have Kumar.
I tell you what. Don't let me. I'm sorry to interject, but let's go ahead and let them introduce themselves as well, because that'll give me time to build out the overlay that has that disclaimer on it, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So, sir, let us start with you, Mr. Almo.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well,
Good. So my name is James Almo, and I've been in the crypto space since 2017. Of course, I got in at the top of the market and learned some lessons along the way down. So, but I held all my coins thus far, so I'm pretty happy about that. Um, I've owned a few companies, and I still have two to speak of, and I am just trying to make my way in the crypto world, and I believe that this is the next evolution in the way we transact.
fantastic. Appreciate you, sir. Kumar, talk to the people.
Hello. My name is Kumar. I actually jumped into the whole crypto scene at the beginning of this year, towards the end of last year. When I did get interested in it, it was after years and years and years of listening to what people would consider, conspiracy theory. That's kind of now a weaponized term for the most part. So I was listening to a lot of alternative media, which is, I guess, a softer way of calling conspiracy what it is. And there was a lot of people that were talking about how the money market was being shifted from, a live fiat tangible based currency system to a digital currency system. So it was something that I was, a little bit in disbelief about for quite a while until I decided to, invest a little bit. And at the time that I did, I actually came out on the fruitful end of it. And I now investigate further into those people that introduced me to those topics. And I'm on my path of securing more unique type of coins that you can't just find on most of these trade platforms. So that's kind of where I'm at with my whole conspiracy theory and cryptocurrency and mindset on where I'm at.
You dropping tons of bombs right there, right? I mean, you just like setting the stage right there with definitely the conversation. I love that. Benjamin.
Hey, I thought, well, I was just here for a dance party, and then I found out it's all about cryptocurrency. So I was like, I got my shoes and everything ready. So yes, I'm a life coach, mentor, and fitness guru. Oh, I don't like to say guru, but I just said it anyway. But I'm here to learn about the cryptocurrency as well, because as I have been a conspiracy theorist, which I like to call fact researcher, everything the last gentleman just said is spot on, and it's going to be the way of the world. And I want to sit here and get as much and soak up in as much information as I possibly can, and add a two cents if I can as well in places that need be.
Love it. Love your co-host behind you too, brother.
We can call ourselves conspiracy analysts, if anything, I guess.
I like it.
And I think that's an important thing to mention before we get into this whole show, is that, it feels like anything that is anything going to be anything, everyone's trying to dissuade or make you look another way or distract you with something else and saying, oh, no, it's a scam, it's fake. Now, I get that. There's things that are out there that are fake and a scam, but like when I start turning around and I'm hearing the World Economic, the World Economic Forum, the WEF, and the IMF, and these guys deal with our money worldwide, nationwide, and they're talking about going into this quantum financial system. It makes me think, you know what, we need to start thinking about, well, not only that, that's how we're printing money like it's going out of style. So that's not even to mention that. So let's get into it. Can somebody just tell me and explain to our audience what blockchain technology is? What is blockchain? Or what do you think is blockchain? I'll go with James.
Mr. Almo.
Blockchain is from the way I understand it, is which took me a long time to actually understand it. Being the of Generation X, wasn't easy, but so blockchain is basically a ledger system that is on a basically a database, I believe, and what it does is the blocks. Well, I don't like. How exactly do you want me to go in depth? Because I could go.
I apologize. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but basically, in simpler terms, you have a network, right? A network of computers.
Correct. Yeah.
And then in that network, in that blockchain, it holds some information, some transactional information that happens within that network, if you will. Now not that it can't talk to other networks, other chains in a I don't want to say a conversation, but again, it's in terms, to make it simple, and I know I'm going all on a tangent, is that it's a network it's a network or system that holds these transactions. Now, I know people that can say it better than me. Kumar, do you have a different term or technology?
That's a good way of describing it, kind of at the basic level. It's a system that can hold what you've purchased and do the transactions and kind of manipulate everything within itself without being kind of seen, from all kinds of angles. So it's kind of securing in a way what you're able to do based on what you're holding.
Okay. Distributed ledger. Someone put up there distributed ledger, which is all correct. Now, we may not be saying this correctly. That's why I say do not take, we are not financial advisors, but we do know what's happening in the world. We know where it seems to be going in a sense, right? Now, are we sure about that? No, we're speculating just like everybody else. However, when I look at coins like, well, for starters, Coinbase went public, right? And Coinbase is an exchange that deals with cryptocurrency, which is again that cryptography type information that you find on that's on blockchains. And to me, I feel like because now, just like we were talking earlier, that it's becoming more mainstream. People are now understanding that, hey, you know what? We need a better financial system. We need something that's going to keep, ever since I can't remember who was president at the time. I want to
Nixon.
say it was Nixon.
Nixon took us off the gold
when he
standard.
took us off the gold standard, what was backing the dollar? Other than just printing it and they're just printing money like it was nothing backing it. So I think nowadays, since COVID, I think there's some serious implications that are happening now. There's if we're printing 3 trillion, I don't know what that number was it $3 trillion in the last stimulus package, and then we're doing another 3 trillion. I think there's something going to happen. Something's going to cave and something's going to give pretty quick. So I think they're looking for a quick way to, is blockchain going to fix this? Thoughts?
So let me pause and kind of interject real quick, because I think we're going kind of all over the board here, and I really want to set some precedents for folks who are watching who tuned in to try to get an understanding of what digital currency is. You're mentioning a lot of terms: blockchain. You're mentioning Bitcoin. You're mentioning Ethereum. Explain again to the person who is just now becoming aware of these, kind of like the joke that I made, right? I live on CNBC, and when I see digital currency being talked about on CNBC, I know it's real, right? I just utilize that. Oh, that's not good. See, there's that Canon camera that he's got. I told this guy to go Sony. Kumar, let me point to you. Give that high level elevator pitch of what digital currency is today, and then if Benjamin and James, if you can also jump in and say where you think it's going, right? Someone who's brand new into investing, should they be looking at this for a future holdings within their portfolio? So Kumar, if you can say again, what is digital currency?
Based on my understanding, digital currency is something that is it's a way of exchanging money.
Can you do me a favor? Can you turn my camera?
My apologies. It's a way of exchanging currencies and doing that without the actual fiat physical exchange of currencies. Now, when it comes to the new digital currency markets, a lot of these coins that are cryptocurrency coins, they work kind of like how the stock market works. The coins can go up in value, the coins can go down in value. The investment into the coins, and where companies feel that the coins are going to move, they're the ones that kind of move the market as they go with cryptocurrencies. And there's a lot of governments currently right now that are moving their own selves into producing their own digital currency. So people that get involved with the current crypto markets are going to have other options than using Federal Reserve Bank currency, digital currency, as opposed to being stuck kind of with the same system that's there. So digital currencies, cryptocurrencies are a new way for people to kind of step out of the controlled fiat-based system that's kind of run by the central banks mainly, and get into a more privatized, secure way of transacting. That's the whole purpose for digital currency, so that people don't necessarily have eyes on what you're buying, how you're transacting your money, and it's kind of securing it to your own personal value. Just like how dollar bills used to be, that's pretty much what the crypto digital market is moving into. They want to make it non-traceable, non-trackable, for the purpose of just making sure that nobody is really privy on where you're putting your money and how you're doing it. That was the whole purpose of Bitcoin to begin with. And now Bitcoin has become a little bit of a different thing. Yes.
Can I pose a question of, I thought that it was because we've got the Federal Reserve System, which is backed by absolutely nothing. And we've got a lot of embezzlement. We've got a lot of corruption. And I thought with Bitcoin and stuff like that, you could trace every transaction. So money cannot be disappeared for nefarious activities and things like that. We can find if people are doing deviant activities to then squash things and whatnot. So everything is going to be traceable. and found out if you are corrupt. And especially that's why governments have been very scared of money getting changed over like that, because as we know, nobody audits where the federal money goes for whatever thing, especially to foreign aid. And where is it all going? Is it getting to these countries? How are these politicians becoming multimillionaires off $100,000 salaries? So this is why I thought to actually police where all the finances are going in a lot of ways. Is that true or not? What's your guys' narrative on that?
Mr. Almo, let me pivot to you on that one.
Well, I think it's a
Yeah, well, sorry,
Go ahead, James.
can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. So, yeah, as far as where we're going with it, it was basically, so the cryptocurrency is a way can you go to the next person, please?
No worries, no worries. How about you, EB? You started, brother.
and yeah, and I guess just to let the guests know, we all have different wheelhouses of things. We are all probably conversating and dabbling in cryptocurrency, and some know more than others. But I don't want to think that anybody's being put on the spot. But okay, and now what Benjamin had talked about is basically a benefit of being on the blockchain, right? Or being in with using cryptocurrency. But in a centralized system, there's ways to manipulate that, right? There's ways there to if I'm making a purchase and it has to go through the bank and then remittance, somebody it has to it takes like 5 days to for them to be able to do something with it, and then remittance can take a long time and be costly, right? Or it could just be manipulated. Period. In a decentralized environment, you don't have those. You do have mechanisms in place, like your Bitcoin miners, and I know we haven't discussed and gone into that detail, but just being exposed and some of those transactions being out there is a benefit of the blockchain. In my own opinion, that's how I feel it is. But Shane could have been on. I see Shane's. Hey guys, does that help, Benjamin?
Yes and no, and you've also it's
I
backed
apologize. I see we
by
have some
something
technical
substantial.
difficulties
Say,
here.
like back in the day when we were on the gold standard. We good? Let me know.
No, we're fine.
Back in the day, we were when we were on the when we were on the gold standard, we were backed. So $20 back in the day would get us say 50 things. Now we need $50 to get 20 things, or 2 things, so to speak. So the value of the dollar has dropped. Does going on to Bitcoin in a lot of ways is it backed by anything that actually gives us some value, or we have to wait till we get backed by gold once again? And will Bitcoin be backed by gold, so to speak?
Right.
Not just Bitcoin, whatever
you know what,
other cryptocurrencies.
James, did you want to interject?
Go ahead, James. Did you want to say something? Alma?
Yeah. So with the fiat system, I mean, you guys are absolutely right. In 1971, Nixon took basically the money off the gold standard, which that was the only thing that backed the money, which then it became basically worthless, like monopoly money. So what we have now is sort of the same system with Bitcoin, because there is really nothing backing Bitcoin except for the scarcity of the 21 million coins that can never be changed. So with that in mind, it's kind of almost the same thing as gold. When you have gold, that's a scarce product, but in actuality, it really isn't as scarce as Bitcoin, because gold, you can still, if you look, I'm sure if they mine long enough and hard enough, they can find more gold. But you cannot find any more Bitcoin because there's only 21 million. So therefore, when it comes to Bitcoin, so it retains its value because of how we perceive it, just like what we perceive right now, the American dollar. So if it's, if it says 1, 5, 10, 20, or 50, that's what we perceive it to be. But it really has no backing. And with that type of money, with the dollar, they're printing it from nothing anyway. So therefore, it's only a matter of time before
Fictional.
the whole house of cards kind of collapses.
Interesting. Interesting. Mr.
Agreed.
Burks is behind the scenes having some problems with his camera. I keep laughing. Well, I'm laughing with him, not at him, on this. And my good friend, Mr.
I'll laugh
Cole,
at him.
Eric maybe want to put some of that digital currency into a Sony camera. So what he's going through, folks, and I'm not going to put him on Front Street here, is essentially his Canon camera has a 29-minute limit on how long it can actually record video.
Gosh.
So before that time limit comes up, he has to change it to he has to reset the camera. So that's what he's going through right now. That's what he's going through right now. Let me ask you guys this. We've talked a little bit about the differentiation. We got some comments in terms of saying folks should have digital currency within their portfolio. Again, you start thinking about old school conservative types of investing, right? You've got folks that are into real estate, folks that are into precious metals and other things like that. What's a percentage that you think that I, as a new investor, should have in my portfolio of a digital currency?
Well, I can tackle that one. So on the traditional model, it's what they say is you need 30% in the stock market, 30% in real estate, 30% in managed assets, and then to top it off with the last 10% being what we call dry powder, which is cash. So and that's for other opportunities, things that may arise. That's the traditional model, but I believe that with the advent of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, that is going to skew a lot because of the fact that that model doesn't represent other opportunities, because there's a vast array of other types of things, especially with the advent of technology, that is open to the common individual on a daily basis. It's just how much you really want to go look for it. But I would say still, if the traditional markets, I would actually probably scale down to your cryptocurrency portfolio. I would probably go maybe 20%, I would say, for right now, and build it along the way by doing like dollar cost averaging, things like that, and let it build itself from the market itself.
So that's an interesting number, because Shane Trammell here, who was a gentleman who was going to be on the panel as well, and again he's quite active in the marketplace as well, right? From a aggressive investing perspective, and he's saying 3 to 5% on a conservative side. So, but again, James, you're coming at it from a different view, because again you've got long tail investments already. You said you've got multiple organizations that you started, implemented, turned up. So you've kind of been in the game, right? But again, I'm thinking, again, my 17-year-old son who wants to start investing in crypto because he hears his buddies is doing it. He's not going to take his little $18 an hour salary job and put 20% of it into something like this, right? But and I only bring that up because it is, again, a different dynamic of what you're saying and something like Shane is saying. Not that it's wrong or anything, but Kumar, let me ask you kind of that same question.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm looking at all of my crypto investments for now as savings accounts. I'm not looking at using a trading type of mechanism in between to earn money, to accrue money. I'm looking at
talk about that. That's a good point.
So far, just to hold there to see kind of how the okay. So when I first started diving into cryptos, I invested very little, like maybe 2%, of what my monthly income was, and it was just to see kind of how does this market work? How do cryptos go up? How do they go down? what are the larger coins that hold influence over the market that influence the smaller coins that are at a lesser value? And how can I, as a personal investor, make money? Do I want to throw the money into something like Bitcoin that, it's been through its ups and downs? It was in a little bearish phase for a while, and now it's kind of kicking itself back up. Or do I want to invest in coins that are pennies on the dollar, that with their increases, I could see a lot more on the back end of it? So when I started investing, I started looking outside of what those main coins were and what the big coins were, and I started looking at options that were more considered privacy coins.
Okay.
I invested money after receiving a little back on the privacy coins, and eventually they popped. After they popped, they went into their own little bearish kind of, ways. And I'm assuming that's because these bigger coins really do control the market. I myself have a Coinbase account, and I pretty much use my Coinbase account to watch the market. I don't really hold anything in it, but I use that just to kind of see what the trends are of these larger coins. And from what I've seen, this is just my opinion, when the big coins go down, the whole market goes down. So you want to make sure that if you are investing into cryptos, that you're investing into a good variety of coins, and also, in my opinion, coins that are considered more so privacy coins that are going to, really be hard to track and trace, and to, really define where money is going and how money is spent. The reason why I stress so much of the privacy coins is because I do feel that at some point, with these bigger coins and these trade platforms that use the bigger coins to move money, eventually there's going to be some level of big brother seeing in on it and taxing you for transactions beyond what the gas fees are, or whatever they call the transaction fees when you're making your exchanges. So for me personally, I would advise anybody that's new into it to take baby steps, right? Go into this with, a little bit of a skeptical, little bird on your shoulder, and
Be
really
aware.
try
Be
to
aware.
not, and don't dump everything into, these scammy gimmicky coins. And I might be stepping on toes, but like Dogecoin was one of them that, it was talked about on the mainstream, it popped, and then people thought, oh, this is going to be, the greatest thing ever. Let me put my entire college tuition on it, and ended up losing their chances at college because it's just a story on it. But I personally look for coins that are more secured and that are more private, that you really can't get on Coinbase. You really can't get on these bigger trade platforms. You have to figure out different ways of securing them.
I appreciate you making that statement. And Eric, I'm going to let you interject. And this comment here is funny. So Shane's talked about 3 to 5%. This guy's 100% invested. But again, he realizes and knows that that's not normal, but that is him, and he's doing some good things. I appreciate you making that statement about Dogecoin, because again, when you got someone like Elon Musk going on to Saturday Night Live and making whatever statement that he makes, and the market has a dramatic shift in 12 hours because of whatever he says while he's telling jokes. That's a little too risky for, I'm gonna say, the majority of folks who are looking for some place to park their money, again, for long term. So I really want to commend you for at least making that statement and talking about the differentiation between the fly by night types of digital currency and the ones that are slightly more established. So with that, Mr. Burks, before your camera goes out again, let me let you jump back into the host chair.
Yeah, I apologize for all the technical difficulties. It seems like I'm going in and out. Anyway, I thank you, Kumar, for bringing it back. Originally, this show was really not supposed to be a sophisticated, and I guess I took it on a tangent. I want to bring it back. I want to bring it back to where, why should anybody get involved in cryptocurrency? I mean, and again, I'm not telling you to get it. I'm just saying, hey, is this something that could be for you as an investor? And again, just like Kumar, I am here to invest. I don't sit there and day trade. I don't really kind of, I don't want to say I don't dabble in the meme coins and things like that. And I know it's another terminology that's we're talking about your Doge coins or your Shiba coins. It's really, is this something that you think, because it's going into the future, is this something that we think is investable, or is it, if that's even a word? Again, we want to diversify our portfolios. This way, we already know what traditional trading is like. And again, I'm going on another tangent because my camera is bugging the crap out of me. Anyway, I really want to bring this down to, is this something that people should do or be or aware of, right? Because it is becoming mainstream, as you said, James. It is becoming more talked about on CNBC. You know, we may have to come back to this this conversation, because it is. I think I don't want to scare people away from something that could be a possibility in their lives or in their financial decision planning. But let me drop off one more time to see if I can fix this connection issue.
All right. Hey,
You still
Kumar.
there?
Yeah, Kumar, I understand that you have a knowledge from a tax perspective as well, right? And again, I think that's a relevant conversation that needs to happen when it comes to investing. Talk to us a little bit about what the implications, what the expectations are come April 15 from a tax perspective, and if you guys can kind of have that dialogue as well.
You know, I don't really have a definitive knowledge base in regards to what could potentially happen come tax time. I do know that a lot of governments right now are strapping down on cryptocurrencies due to the fact that they aren't taxed like normal transactions and normal income is taxed. So I know that at some point there's got to be some sort of give, because if markets are being influenced by cryptocurrency and not so much the fiat based currency of the area, then markets are going to do something to make sure that they're getting their tax payments out, or they're getting their whatever piece of the pie that is taken from fiat currency. So my big worry is the fact that these big trade platforms that are relying and promoting mainly these bigger coins are eventually going to lose their ability to stop that from being an area that the government can tax you on. How many transactions did you make in Bitcoin, and where did you send the coin to, and what did you purchase for the coins, and what's the tax bracket of what you purchased for? What does that fall under? And was it a house purchase? Was it something else? How does that impact your bottom line and where you are in the future with your money and your holdings? So again, the reason why I don't myself necessarily tell people or suggest to people, yeah, go and buy a Bitcoin, go and buy an Ethereum, go and buy is because for me, being that baby level investor, I myself wouldn't see anything grand and fruitful based on what I can put into it. And again, I don't necessarily know everything about it like I would like to, but at the same time, I also know that anytime some kind of speculative theory pops into my head, or anytime I'm told something about cryptocurrencies or the market, the first thing that I do, which is I think everyone should do, is invest in your time and your thoughts into the alternative opinion. If somebody's telling you go and buy that cryptocurrency, or don't buy cryptocurrencies, or don't buy privacy coins, or buy privacy coins, and you feel one way or the other, it should be your responsibility to invest your attention into the alternative narrative and figure out what those other people are saying on why not to do it before you decide to do it. Because again, this is such a brand new thing that I didn't know a lot about it at first. So the first thing that I did was I started listening to everything on why not to do it. And then I also looked back at old news reports and news articles that were talking about Bitcoin back when the news agencies were saying, don't do Bitcoin, it's a scam, it's a hoax. And this is when Bitcoin was a few $100, if that. So when it comes to what potential there is, I do feel that the market does have huge potential. If anybody were to invest a little bit of money into it, I would say right now would probably be one of the better times to do it, as the market did make a downward crawl for a little while, and now it's kind of back on its little bit of an upswing, but it's not all the way back where it was at the beginning of the year. So if there are any interested parties, look into it now. Kind of investigate what's good for you now. See what kind of money you have to invest. If you can, invest 5%, 2%, 3%. Don't go crazy right off the bat. Don't get on these bandwagons of all these gimmick coins and risk it all. Yeah. Really make sure that you know what you want to do with cryptocurrencies, and listen to all the avenues. Don't just think that this person's the guru of knowledge and wisdom and they know everything, because chances are you're going to hear a guru that talks about the exact opposite, and then you're going to have this big mental mess about what's right. So cryptocurrencies have been around for a long time. This is not something that's new, and the coins that are out there, some of them are new. So it might be a good idea to really pay attention to some of these penny-based coins, these dollar-based coins, and see how the markets move based on how the bigger coins move. So if you're new to it, get a Coinbase account. Don't put any money in it. Select a bunch of coins that you think are going to do well and watch the market. See how the market goes up and down based on how the bigger coins move. select some gimmick coins if you feel that's what you want to do, and see how those trends move with the bigger coins, and start predicting, if you're able to, when you want to invest your money and how you want to spend your money. That's exactly what I did. I don't, again, have a huge knowledge-based background on cryptocurrencies and which ones are the best one versus which ones aren't. But what I've spent a large amount of time doing is watching these trends and seeing which coins are popping, which coins go down, what triggers those coins to kind of, burst through the top and get past their base. And that's kind of how I do it now. I look for, again, coins that are not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I look for these other coins that offer the same types of transactions and the same types of, moving money that these big networks do. And that's the coins that I'll, throw a couple $100 in and see where it goes.
I love it.
But again, don't blow your load.
That'll be the subtitle of this show right there. Don't blow your load. Eric, let me ask one question of Mr. Almo, Mr. Arts first before I let you interject, because Kumar said something in that I want to ask the other panelists about. Benjamin and James, where are you getting your information, right, on digital currency? I mean, are you looking at traditional media? Are you looking at, do you have a particular app that you use, particular news source, particular website, things of that nature? But again, Benjamin, let me start with you, and then we'll go to James Almo. Where are you getting your information on digital currencies?
So I've been on, there's an app on your phone you can get called Rumble. I don't know if many people know it. It's basically all the fact researchers go to where. So you've got Red Pill 78. He's a guy who's got a podcast and he talks a lot about crypto. You've got the X22 report, and he does a financial. And then a guy who's very big into the quantum financial system. He basically moves money around the world for very, very elite, rich, ultra rich people. He moves billions of dollars around the world for them, and he talks a lot about the quantum financial system and cryptocurrency, and his name's Charlie Ward, Dr. Charlie Ward. So I've been onto this stuff for a couple of years now, but it's in the alternative field, and they'll go into deep, dark rabbit holes. And I always say to people, when you want to learn about the financial system, start researching about the Federal Reserve and how it was set up, and then you'll get a bit of a reason of why we need to move into a blockchain sort of a system, because we've been bent over sideways with no lubricant for a long, long time now, and we've been feeling it, and it's not feeling very good. And the governments and these people who are the hidden hand, who have the agenda and the control system, need to be brought into alignment. And I believe this blockchain type technology will be able to do that, because in the quantum financial system, exchange rates will be done as you transfer money around the world, and it'll be done instantaneously, and everything will be accounted for. There'll be no missteps. Everything can be tracked, and there'll be no mischievous activities being done. So it's going to be a better system for everybody. You're going to have value for value. You're going to have more value for your money and whatnot. And like I said, you can do your transactions instantaneously around the world. So these are the people that I follow and get my information from. And they've got fingers on the pulse, and they go, like I said, into deep, dark rabbit holes. So you'll learn other things that you probably don't even really never knew about. But it's very important that we understand where our money is coming from and where it's, the magic money system, the European banking cartel that has been running America for a long, long time. And it needs to be broken down and rebuilt. And in a way, I did a lot of research on the cryptocurrency a long time ago, because I didn't want this to be a hidden hand of the octopus that was already controlling us. And I thought it was like another arm that it created to find another way of controlling us. So it was very important that I researched way back from the start and how this all happened, and make sure it's done from good people, or white hats as we call them, and not black hats controlling us, finding another way to control us. Because the Federal Reserve has to come down. The financial system has to go down, because, when they say, oh, the United States is in debt of how many $1 billion, to who? Who are we in debt to? It's fictional money printed out of nothing, backed by nothing. We're not in debt to anyone. It's all lies and crap, but it's a fear control system. And I believe that the cryptocurrency will start freeing a lot of people and taking control of their money and stuff like that.
Interesting. Appreciate that.
That was my little Eric tangent. You are a guest, sir. You get to go on a tangent. Still working. my camera's still working. Look at that. It's not a
Oh,
Sony.
that guy. We got jokes.
He got jokes.
And today's comedian is.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought it was a dance show. I thought it was a dance party. Come on now.
Mr. Almo, the same question to you, sir.
Okay, so before I tackle that one, I just want to kind of clarify like the 20% that we were talking about. I'm a little bit more aggressive with my how I go into crypto and trading and things of sort because of the philosophy, or I guess the take that I have, that I don't believe in the current fiat system that we have anymore. I believe that it's going to crash. Don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but that's the reason why I'm going so heavy into crypto.
Can you,
and things
James,
like that.
can you explain what you mean by the fiat system again? I want to put the layman's hat on, right, for folks who aren't aware of some of these terms that we're using today.
Okay, so the fiat system was born in 1971. We when Nixon took us off the gold standard. So we had that conversation earlier, and since then, the dollar has been backed by nothing, and just like Benjamin was talking about, the whole system has been rigged. Well, since when the Federal Reserve was established, it's been rigged since then. But it took until 1971 until they could really control things by printing their own money and taking us off the gold standard. Because what happened is the reason why they had to take us off the gold standard is because the rest of the world pretty much figured out that we didn't have the actual gold for the amount of money that we said we had, and they wanted to cash in because we couldn't I guess give back the gold that other countries had bought the bond, treasury bonds from us. Because of that, Nixon took us off the gold standard. He changed the rules. So that, in a sense, right there, created this situation that we're in now. And if you really understand like macroeconomics and things of that sort, and financial literacy, I mean, it's not hard to connect the dots when we're looking at why cryptocurrency actually was born to begin with, and the reason for it, and why it's so important that people get financial literacy so that they can understand why they need to go towards it I believe at a faster rate than most people are taken up on it. And it's just because I just myself, I believe that it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of time. And I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm preparing now. I'm preparing because I believe that the ship is leaving the dock, and it's either you're going to be on it or you're not.
It's interesting because I see that sentiment growing, right? Again, there are more rumblings over the past few years, but I'm starting to hear and see that sentiment growing across more and more conversations that I'm having. So, and Eric, I know you've got a plethora of resources that you use for finding information, doing your research, things like that. Talk a little bit about that, and then I'll let you go on with your next question, man.
Yeah, for me, I use a site called the Daily Hodl. And it's informative. It talks about things that are happening with Bitcoin and other alternative coins. And what I mean by alternative coins are anything other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of the I don't know, gold standard, if you will. It actually is the original cryptocurrency in my mind because I don't know if you remember, but back in 2009, we were at a CES and a fellow introduced us to, remember they were making a Bitcoin ATM. Mm-hmm. And the guy said, hey, thanks for helping us out. I'd like to offer you what was like 300 coins for $10. I'm thinking, well, you know what? It's we don't understand it at the time, right? And then come, like a decade later, it's like $60,000 so Bitcoin. I'm like, had we took him up on that deal,
hindsight is 2020, boy. Hindsight is 2020. So yeah.
And I think that's when I really started to kind of research Bitcoin. Now, I didn't have $60,000 to buy a Bitcoin, but I did start looking at the other alternative coins. And I think Kumar mentioned like what place where I can, what better place than Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, or alternative coins allows me to invest $35 to get like a million coins or something like that, and then again watch it go up. So I slowly started in 2017 or 18, I think it was 2017. I started slowly accumulating less than a penny. I mean, cryptocurrency for less than a penny, and just kind of watched it. I knew I instead of going and grabbing a drink, I took $35 and bought a boatload of coins. Right? Where can you do that? It's like buying penny stocks, if you will. And then I slowly started watching. I said, "Hey, wait a minute! You know what? This could be something. This is something that people should see." I started listening to other. And I'm talking with my hands because my camera. I don't know if my camera's going out. So I started looking at the Daily Hodl. Somebody introduced me to the Daily Hodl, which was who was it? It was another. I started talking, getting on like some Discords, getting on some YouTube videos, and started seeing. I think one of my favorite ones was Taylor Mitchell. She has a YouTube channel, which, I sit there and try to explain it, and it becomes convoluted. Mm. She talks in like these terms. I'm like, oh my God, okay, that makes sense. Which would be really nice to get somebody like that on the show too, as well. But it started making sense, and I started doing more research and saying, hey, what's what? I started looking at other altcoins that they were talking about, that the EMF was talking about, the IMF, which is your International Monetary Fund, which deal with coins across the world. And what that looked like for me was the future. I was like, people need to get into this. I always tell people, they're back in 2005 or 2000s, they were talking about, man, I don't want to be caught in the bubble. I don't want to be caught in the bubble. To me, I feel like the worst place to be caught is outside the bubble, because then you have no leverage, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can slowly, I think cryptocurrency allows you to slowly kind of get into an investment mindset, if you will, because I can, again, take $35, buy a lot of stuff, and then watch it kind of slowly grow, which has been kind of successful for me. And again, for me, it's long term. It's a long term investment. So I try to look for like things under a penny that I can just kind of buy a lot of, and then just watch it kind of accumulate.
Okay.
And again, awesome. Today is just a bad day.
Don't worry about the technology.
Can I ask a question
focus on the content, brother? Go ahead, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Just a quick question of I'm a cryptocurrency retard, in a sense of I don't know where to start when I want to say I want to go buy coins. Where do I go? What do I do? Do I just type into Google cryptocurrency and then it takes me to places where I can buy? Where does a person like me go?
Let's go with Kumar there, because that was
literally my next question. That's a great question.
That was literally my next question, Benjamin. Have you been looking at my notes? Okay.
I did actually. I was that sneaky bugger.
Yeah, I can tell you what I did. And yeah, let me give you a kind of 101 on where I started. So I downloaded a Coinbase account. That's where I started. So you can go on Coinbase. You basically sign up for it. You link it to your bank account, or you link it to a checking card of some type. And then you have access to being able to make purchases for Bitcoin and for whatever is available on their trade platform. I use a couple different platforms. So the ones that I've taken the time to look into and use myself are Coinbase, which is one of them. Another one is called Trade Ogre. That's tradeogre.com. Trade Ogre is one of them that I can buy my privacy coins that I'm interested in from. They're not necessarily available on Coinbase. If we want to chat about that, we can. But that's another platform that I use. And I also have what's called an atomic wallet that allows me to do trading within it as well. And it's just you go on the website, you download, just look at coins, watch trends, hit that little star on the ones of interest, and see kind of where they go and what their values look like from week to week. And then when you're ready to invest in it, just my opinion myself would be, don't wait too long. Again, we are back up on that upswing of the market, and the coins that I've invested in have already, come back 60%, in this last week. So invest right now, because it is a good time. The market's on a bit of an upswing, but it's not too high. If you wait too long, it's going to get high. That doesn't mean that it won't drop back down and correct itself, before the year's up. But yeah, if you're going to get started with cryptocurrencies, download a Coinbase account, look into Coinbase, see what options are on Coinbase. Again, it's going to be missing a lot of coins that you can't get. So look at Trade Ogre, see what their listings are, see what they have that Coinbase doesn't have. And if you're interested, we can chat a little bit about privacy coins and the ones that I hold and the ones that I was interested in holding that I purchased through those specific websites. But
Awesome.
that's where I would say to get started, get a Coinbase account and look at how the market moves.
Okay. Have either of you heard of this location, Voyager?
Yes.
No.
Voyager is also another exchange. There's a lot of exchanges. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did I cut out?
Yes.
Hello?
And we can see you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Voyager is another exchange. They don't have a real, in my mind, they don't have a real diverse crypto, but they do have your, the ones that are trending, like your Bitcoins, your Ethereum, they have that. They also offer things in the sense of if you kind of stake your coins, you'll get dividend, or not dividends, but you'll get an APR, like interest. You'll earn interest on your coins. But to me, I feel like it's and again, I'm not trying to say which one is better than the other. There are some exchanges that are slow, that are really slow. And when I mean by slow is like when you go in there, you sell. Sometimes it takes some time for that sell to close. Or if you sell and you're trying to transfer your money back to your bank account, it's really slow. Coinbase is one of your more mainstream. I like that Kumar said that. And just to kind of touch on Coinbase takes it, not only is it trading publicly, so on a really traditional exchange, but it's an exchange that allows you to earn crypto just by watching a video to learn about crypto. And I like that aspect of it. And I've gotten a lot of, crypto, not a lot, but you if you watch a training video, they'll say, hey, you'll earn $3 by watching $3 of whatever that crypto you're trying to earn. Say AMP is one of the crypto alternative coins. They say once I watch this video to kind of get an understanding of it, and they're short, they automatically put that amount of that crypto in your account. Just by opening a Coinbase account, they actually give you Bitcoin. I didn't check and see if they still do that. Or refer other people. They'll give you Bitcoin, a percentage of Bitcoin, like not a percentage, like I think it's like $5 to $10 of Bitcoin, which is like your starting point, right? Your starting point. And I think that's huge to get people kind of engaged in trading. Now it does. When you go to those exchanges, they will ask you for information that is personal. They will ask you for your ID card. They just like a traditional, if you're going to Robinhood or your what's another
Robinhood, which
if you're
did
going
not
to any
have
normal traditional exchange,
which did not have a great day on their IPO. I would just say that Robinhood's IPO, they did not have a great day, but the long game.
Well, the IPO at like $30.
I believe it was 38.
It's a long game, exactly. If people, I think one of the best things that I heard, which was again one of the is Taylor Mitchell. If you want to watch your money disappear, don't invest it. You know what I mean? Investing is a way to be able to kind of grow your money. Compoundly grow your money. So you want to think about it over time.
You may have just came with the top gem of the show there, Eric. You may have just came with the top gem of the show. Say that one more time, because that was good. I don't want to gloss over that.
If you want to lose your money, don't invest it. Because you just watch your money disappear.
I like it.
Within yeah.
Let me ask you this, because you got a question for you specifically from Adriana Leon here. Eric, what penny stocks do you think are good to hodl, and your favorites? Thank you. Saludas from Mexico. Hey, I took 4.5 years of Spanish. I know a little bit. I can still roll the R's a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not really into not when you say stock, you're talking about traditional. We're talking in this form, we're actually talking about coins. But if you're talking about some coins that I bought under a penny, let's check the portfolio. I bought in a stock at 4 cents that is currently trading at about 75 cents right now, but I bought it at 4. It's called XRP. The company was Ripple. I bought XRP at 4 cents. So that's one that I bought at a penny. It's no longer a penny, but it's still under $1, right? Let's look at just to name a few. XLM. I also bought XLM under 4 cents. It's actually about 20 cents right now. So I mean, to me, that's a penny stock. I mean, it's less than $1. To me, anything less than $1 is a penny stock, right? I'll do one more in my portfolio, which would be one that I got from just watching it. No, one just from a video, right? If you do the video, I got like $9 of a penny stock, which is called AMP, AMP. It's at 0.07 cents right now. So, to me, that allows me to be able to say, I want to invest, and like I said, some of those I started at 4 cents. They're now like 75 cents.
So let me I guess put a bow on this, because that's a good point there. I mean, folks who are watching and listening, right? The point of entry for cryptocurrency, as you're hearing Benjamin and Eric and James and Kumar talk about 5 cents, 10 cents, 3 cents, a lot different mentality, right? Than when you're thinking about traditional stocks. When you're going out and buying that Starbucks stock, or you're buying that stock in Target or wherever else that you frequent, right? Because you want to own places that you frequent, that you invest in, that you are loyal to. So, right, I own Starbucks, I own Dell, I own Sony stock, things like that. Eric, you need to get you some Sony stock, but I'll leave that right there. But
it's coming. It's
I just do that out there. But the price of entry for cryptocurrency is significantly lower. But again, the fluctuations are more as well, a little more dramatic. So what has been said here from Benjamin, Kumar, and James is be cognizant of the marketplace, be cognizant of what you're doing. If you're going to put your money into these new, evolving, emerging, less regulated marketplaces, just be aware of what you're doing. Again, for the new layman coming in from an investment perspective, I wanted to put that out there, because again, you keep talking about 10 cents to get in, you keep talking about 5 cents to get in, when again, normally we're talking about a stock that costs $50 to get one share, and you can't buy really one share of stock anywhere. But let's go and wrap this. And again, folks, I guess I want to ask you guys, what do you see coming next from a cryptocurrency perspective, from a blockchain perspective, from this entire ecosystem? What do you see next, and what folks should be aware of as the next 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, year, as we progress down these particular trends? Mr. Almo, let's start with you.
So what do I see next is, right now, I believe we're in the very, very beginning stages of the evolution, per se. I think we're like, if I was to analogize it, it would be like, the internet in 1994 with the dial-up mode, until technology kind of took off and it kind of, evolved it in a sense. But I believe that very, very shortly, a lot of everything is going to come online as far as how to invest, the ease of investing, because right now it's not easy to do all these things, and I think that's what the problem is with most people is, not only is it difficult to understand because it's relatively new, it's not easy. So you got to know which exchange to go to, how to transfer. I mean, it's a little bit of a process. It's not just like calling a broker and doing transactions over the phone. So it's going to evolve into a way of life, I believe, within very shortly. So I don't know what that time frame is, but I think that's the way it's going to go.
Interesting. Kumar, what about you, sir?
I know for a fact that, or I can't really speculate on that verbiage too much, but I know we're moving away from fiat currency. We're moving directly into digital currencies. That includes having a dollar digital currency type of system. A little bit of that conspiracy analytics coming out here, but it will be tied into eventually
Bring it
a
out,
social
brother.
credit
Bring
system.
it out.
It'll be tied into a social credit system that's dependent on a variety of different factors. But the world will be moving more towards a digital kind of trading platform and moving away from any physical, tangible way of exchanging. That's the whole modus operandi right now that most governments are, pursuing. So I know that people that decide to dive in right now into cryptocurrencies will have an advantage over people that wait until the governments have, distributed their own digital currency. Because at that point, a lot of these coins that, were mentioned even today that were in the pennies kind of, spots, those are going to be dollars to tens of dollars to twenties of dollars. And these other coins that are available might be the next Bitcoin, might be the next Ethereum coin, might be, and right now they're trading at dollars, compared to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
So I would suggest for everyone, if you are interested, to stick your nose in it right now. Start sniffing around, see what kind of smells good. If you hear something, don't just take that opinion and run with it. Go investigate that counter narrative. I would like to also say what Benjamin touched on is very important as far as sourcing your information. Get on alternative websites. You can't find things on YouTube so much anymore. So get on websites such as BitChute. Get on websites such as brandnewtube.com. Get on websites such as Brighteon.com, such as Rumble, such as all those different areas where you can gather information and explore. Figure out, what your ideas are and start listening to people that have your frame of reference and your thought patterns, and then go and investigate that counter narrative. That is, I think, hugely important, especially when you're talking about your savings, your money, your future. So I really do believe that we're moving into the digital currency arena, and anybody that's ready to board the ship will be a lot more successful than anybody later on that's trying to climb aboard.
I love it. Benjamin, before we move to you, I do want folks that are listening and watching to know that I will gather all of these links and locations and resources and put them in the description on the YouTube channel. So you guys will actually have all of those links to all those sites. So you don't have to write them down. Benjamin, what about you, guy?
I'll start it off with the definition of ignorance is having an opinion about something you know nothing about. So I implore people to do their investigations and their research. I will say that the quantum financial system, from what I'm hearing around the back scenes or the back rooms, is that it's all signed off by all countries and it's ready to go. They just got to basically flick the switch and switch the whole system over. We're waiting on, there is a few black hats that are still running certain countries in the world that are holding off because they want to put, especially the United States, they want us to put us into a third world country, and they want China to be the world power. But there's people who are holding it back, and they want to make everyone, so there's no third world countries. They want to have, everyone has what we see in the movies where everyone's living a good life. They're all nice and peaceful and free, and they're happy and they're financial. And there's no, wars and things like that. So we're moving into great times, but we just have to clear out a little bit of poo-poo before we get there. But it is moving to that quantum financial system, which is going to be that blockchain, whatever you want to call it, system, and it's all ready to go. But like I said, we're just cleaning out, the white hats are cleaning out the black hats that are still the dregs that are hanging on, but they'll be gone soon. And 5 to 10 years, we're going to be living in a different world. And yes, we will go on day trips to the moon. Ooh.
You already got your ticket? You and Bezos are in conversation, huh? You talking?
Well, I'm not going to be flying up on a massive penis, put it that way. But anyway, that's another story.
I love
what
it.
was that thing? What was that thing? You've got all that money to design, and you design a penis. I don't understand it.
There's Benjamin. There he is. Here, no, been waiting for you.
That's our life coach.
Been waiting for you for an hour to come out. There's Benjamin. Eric, before I turn it over to you, man, to kind of close this out, I guess what I'm going to surmise of everyone's saying is really get all three sides of the conversation, folks. Don't be ignorant. Be informed and be aware. And I say there are three sides, right? There's what you see in mainstream. There's what you're seeing alternatively, and I don't want that term alternative media to be necessarily a bad thing, right? I don't want that to be in the same connotation that we've heard for the last number of years, right? Again, it's just you're getting a piece of information from one location. Make sure you get another point of view, because I think we all grow as human beings and as citizens of this planet by hearing other different perspectives. Then make your decision, right? Don't just be locked into one channel on cable to where that's all you hear, or you only hear what you get through your stream on Facebook, through your profile, because that's all algorithmically driven to be one term, one focus, one direction, right? So be aware of the information that you're receiving, then make your own decision in terms of where you, your family, and the folks around you are going to go. Just be informed. EB, take us home.
Before I take us home, I want to also apologize for the technical difficulties, but also I want to talk to and just kind of mention that we talked about traditional trading of stocks, and we talked about trading of the digital currencies. Now, there's a difference. Trading stocks, you're actually buying a piece of the company, so you're going to be receiving dividends and earning something from that company. Digital currencies, not the same thing. Can you make money off of that by buying and by trading? Yes, you'll earn as the value of the digital currency goes up. So don't think they're the same thing. You're not buying into a company with digital currency. You're buying the digital currency. In stocks, you're actually buying a piece of the company. So you'll get like a prospectus and all that good jazz. So you don't get that with digital currency. So having said that, again, let me apologize for the technical difficulties. But I hope you come back. We will not go on a tangent the next time. And as you know, we talk about finance, we talk about family and friends, and we talk about just about anything, you name it, it's unscripted. Thank you for joining.
James, Kumar, Benjamin, be good to yourself. EB, go get that new camera, brother.
On the way.